In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get $40,000 in business funding with no hard inquiry. Let's begin. Now, the first step is we need to create a funding sequence. Now, a funding sequence, for those who aren't familiar, is simply just a strategic list of banks that we put together based on our funding goals. Now, in this case, our funding goals are to get the maximum amount of funding with no inquiries on our personal credit report. So let's make one. Now, the first bank that we're going to go to is Chase Bank. And when it comes to Chase, this bank is notoriously known for being one of the hardest to get funding from, understandably so, since they're one of the largest banks in the country. Now, with that being the case, if we want to increase our chances of getting the most amount of funding from them, what we want to do is go to them first before our credit report gets touched by any of the other banks to help maximize our chances of not just getting approved, but getting the largest bag. Another reason why we want to go to Chase first is because Chase actually has a rule called 524, where if they see that you've opened 5 new accounts in the last 24 months, you're not going to be approved for most of their personal and business credit products. And when it comes to the 524 rule, I'm actually speaking from firsthand experience because it actually took me 2 years before I got my first business credit product with Chase because of this rule. So take it from me, this is not something that you want to have to run into. Now, when we apply for whatever business credit card that we're going to get from Chase, yes, they are going to do a hard pull on your Experian report, which will leave an inquiry, but don't worry about that because that'll get dealt with in just a second. And by the way, before we get to the next bank, if you want to restore your credit so that you can access funding from the banks that I'm mentioning in this video, and you're going to head over to takeoffinancial.com to book a consultation with me and my team so that we can help you get your credit restored and put you in position to access business funding. But back to the video. Now, bank number 2 is going to be Key Bank. And Key is actually a gem because it's what we are considering a tier 2 bank. Now, for those who don't know, tier 2 banks are known as regional banks, and these are the banks that are well known for giving out the bag because unlike tier 1 banks like Chase, they have a much more lenient underwriting process when it comes to how much funding they will approve your business for. Now, while I do love all tier 2 banks, and I do mean all of them, what makes Key Bank super duper special is 2 things. Number 1, they're actually going to approve you for up to $50,000 in business funding on just one of your business credit cards. And number 2, they are going to check your Equifax report to determine if they'll approve you for funding. But when they do this, it's going to be a soft inquiry, a soft one. Not a hard inquiry, a soft one, meaning that there isn't going to be any mark on your personal credit report to let future creditors know that Key Bank was there. Then after we go to Key Bank, bank number 3 we're going to hit is called PNC Bank. Now, PNC, similar to Key Bank, is also a tier 2 bank that I love because they have around 5 different business credit card products that you can choose from, and they're known to be very generous when it comes to the limits that they give out. You can get approved for anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 plus in business funding from any of PNC Bank's business funding products. Also, PNC has what's called a no-doc program. So for those who do not know, a no-doc program simply just means that when we apply for funding from a bank or from a lender, they are not going to ask us to provide paperwork to confirm any of the information that we place on this application, which in turn is going to help us to streamline the funding process, also help us to mitigate us having to go back and forth when it comes to providing things like bank statements and tax returns, LLC documentation, etc. Now, when it comes to PNC, they are also going to do a hard pull on our Experian report, similar to Chase, to determine if they're going to approve us for funding. But like I said, stick around because we're going to handle both those inquiries in just a second. Now, we have our 3 banks, and once we finish applying for funding from these 3 banks, we should have 2 inquiries on our Experian report, one from PNC and one from Chase Bank. So the next step that we're going to take is to have those inquiries that we got from both these banks removed from our credit report. Remember, when applying for business funding, even though we're using our personal credit report to acquire the funding, business credit does not show on our personal credit report. So even though we got inquiries from Chase and got another inquiry from PNC Bank, we can now call in to have those inquiries removed the same day. All you're going to do is call into Experian using this number on screen. Now, once you get on the phone with them, you're going to connect with the business department by pressing 2. And once you connect with the representative and provide your verification information so that they can pull your file, you're going to dispute the inquiries in real time over the phone and have them removed in 24 to 72 hours. Now, I'm not going to provide you the exact step-by-step on this video, but if you want to know exactly what to say and do once you get on the phone with Experian, I've already created a video for this that I'm going to link in the description below for you to watch. So once you've called into Experian and had those 2 inquiries removed from your personal credit report after applying for funding, and on the low end, you were able to secure $20,000 from Chase, $10,000 from Key Bank, and let's say another $10,000 from PNC, you would have secured $40,000 in business funding with no hard inquiries on your personal annual credit report. That's all for this video, but if you're interested in learning how you can clean your credit report to access business funding like what we've discussed on this video, head over to my company's website at takeoffinancial.com to book a free consultation with me and my team. But until next time, peace.